Hi, welcome to English Hamster. Are you learning English? Great. Here we learn through stories. They are simple and interesting. You can improve English while learning knowledge. Remember to subscribe, like and comment. Let's get started.
Today, I want to ask you something important. Have you ever thought about giving up on learning English? It's okay to be honest with yourself. Maybe you studied hard for weeks, but when you tried to speak, the words just disappeared. Maybe you listened closely, but still couldn't understand what people were saying. Maybe someone even laughed at your mistakes. And in that moment, you thought, maybe English is just not for me. I know exactly how that feels because I've been there too. There were many times when I wanted to give up as well. But let me share a secret with you. Learning English is not about being perfect. It's not about being the best. It's about never giving up, even when it feels tough. Every mistake is a lesson, and every small step gets you closer to your goal. So, stay with me until the end of this video, because I will share how you can stay strong, how to keep your motivation alive, and how to make sure you never give up on learning English. Chapter 1: Why do people give up on English? When people first start learning English, they usually feel excited. They buy a notebook, watch videos, or download an app. At first, everything feels new and interesting. But after some time, many people begin to feel tired. They start thinking that it is too difficult or that they will never get better. This is the moment when many people stop learning. But why does this happen? Why do so many people give up on learning English, even when they really want to speak? Let's talk about some of the main reasons. Fear of mistakes. One big reason people give up is the fear of making mistakes. Many people are afraid of saying something wrong. They think, what if people laugh at me? What if I sound silly? What if I can't say the words correctly? I felt the same way when I started learning. I remember one day I tried to order food in English. My heart was racing, and when I spoke, I mixed up the words. The person didn't understand me, and I felt so embarrassed. For a moment, I thought about quitting English forever. I thought, maybe I'm not good enough for this language. But here's the truth. Everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers of English make mistakes. Mistakes are not something to be afraid of. They are part of the learning process. Without mistakes, you cannot grow. Every mistake is like a teacher, showing you the right way to do things next time. Slow progress. Another reason why people give up is slow progress. At the beginning, learning new words feels easy. You feel like you are improving every day. But after a while, the progress seems slower. You watch a movie and still don't understand much. You try to speak, but you still forget words. You might think, I am not improving. I will never speak fluently. I remember feeling stuck after studying for 6 months. I thought I wasn't making any progress. But what I didn't realize was that my brain was still learning, even if I couldn't see the results right away. Learning a language is not always a straight line. Sometimes you move fast. Other times you move slowly. But as long as you keep going, you are moving forward. The important thing is to keep going, even when things feel slow. Comparing yourself to others. Another reason why people give up is comparing themselves to others. Maybe you have a friend who speaks better than you. Maybe you watch a video of someone online who seems perfect in English. You might think, why can't I speak like them? Maybe I'm just not talented. I have compared myself to others many times. I had a friend who spoke English so naturally, and I always felt small next to him. But later, I understood something important. Everyone has their own journey. Maybe your friend has more practice. Maybe they started learning English earlier. Maybe they had different opportunities. but that doesn't mean you can't reach the same level. You just need your own time. When you compare yourself to others, it can make you feel weak. But when you compare yourself to who you were yesterday, you will see how much you are improving. You don't need to be like anyone else. You just need to focus on your own progress. Lack of confidence. A big reason why people give up is lack of confidence. Some people study English for years, but they never speak. They know the words and understand grammar, but they are afraid to open their mouth. They don't believe in themselves. I remember sitting in class, knowing the answer, but staying silent because I was too shy. Confidence is not something you are born with. It comes with practice. The first time you speak, you will be scared. The second time, you will feel a little less afraid. The third time, it will be even easier. Step by step, your fear will turn into confidence. Chapter 2: Small steps lead to big changes. When people think about learning English, they often imagine something big. They think they need to study for hours every day, or take expensive classes, or even move to an English-speaking country. Because of this, many learners feel overwhelmed before they even begin. They look at the mountain of English and think, "This is too high. I can't climb it." But here's the truth. No one climbs a mountain in one big jump. You reach the top by taking small steps, one at a time. And this is exactly how learning English works. When I first started learning, I wanted to be fluent quickly. I thought if I studied really hard for a week, I would be able to speak like a native speaker. But of course, that didn't happen. After a few days, I felt tired and forgot most of what I had studied. I wanted to quit. Then one day, someone told me, "Don't try to climb the whole mountain in one day. Just take one step today and another tomorrow." At first, I didn't believe it, but later, I learned that this advice was right. Small steps are the secret to big changes. Think about planting a tree. When you put a seed in the ground, nothing happens right away. You water it today and you water it tomorrow. And still, you don't see a tree. But little by little, something begins to grow underground. You can't see it, but it's happening. Then one day, you see a small green leaf. Over time, the tree gets taller and stronger. Learning English is just like that tree. You might not see the results right away, but every small step you take makes your English grow. Even if you practice for just 5 minutes every day, that can make a big difference. You might think, 5 minutes? That's too little. It won't help me. But let me show you why it works. If you practice for 5 minutes every day in 1 week, that's 35 minutes. In 1 month, that's about 2 hours. In 1 year, that's more than 20 hours of extra practice. And the best part? You won't even feel tired because you only practiced a little each day. Here's a moment I want you to imagine. One day, you are listening to someone speak English. Maybe it's in a movie or in real life. Suddenly, you understand a full sentence without translating it in your head. In that moment, it feels like magic. You realize that you didn't study that sentence. You didn't translate word by word. Your brain just understood it. That's the power of small steps. Every bit of practice you do, whether it's listening, reading, speaking, or writing, builds up in your brain until suddenly, something clicks. That moment is amazing, and it makes all your small steps feel worth it. I remember when I had this moment. I was watching a simple TV show, and one character said, "I don't know what to do." It was such a simple sentence, but I understood it instantly without thinking in my own language. I felt so happy. It was like finding treasure. From that moment, I believed in the power of small steps because I knew that every little thing I did was slowly changing the way my brain worked. Small steps also help you stay consistent. If you tell yourself, I will study English for 2 hours every day. Maybe you can do it for a few days. But soon, you will feel tired and stop. On the other hand, if you say, I will study for 10 minutes every day, it feels easy. You could practice while drinking tea, waiting for the bus, or before going to bed. Because it feels easy, you can keep going for a long time. This is why small steps are better than big steps. They are possible, and they keep you moving forward. Perfection is not the goal. Many learners think that if they don't say a sentence perfectly, they should not speak at all. But this idea stops you from practicing. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. Imagine a baby learning to walk. The baby doesn't wait until it can walk perfectly. It stands up, falls down, and tries again. It takes one small step. And every step, even when it falls, is part of the progress. You must treat your English the same way. Don't wait until you feel perfect. Start today with small, simple sentences. The perfection will come later, but the progress starts now. Here are some simple, small steps you can take today. Listen to one English song and try to repeat one line. Write 2 sentences about your day in a notebook. Speak one sentence out loud to yourself in front of the mirror. These steps may seem small, but trust me, they will add up. Day by day, they will build your English skills. The most important thing is to believe in the power of these little actions. Don't think they are useless. Don't think, this is too small to help me. Because one day, you will look back and realize that these small steps are the reason you can now speak, listen, read, and write much better than before. So remember, learning English is not a race. You don't need to do everything today. You just need to take one step today, another step tomorrow, and another step the day after that. It's like climbing a mountain, like planting a tree, or like a baby learning to walk. You move slowly, but you keep moving. And before you know it, you will look back and see how far you've come. Chapter 3: The Power of Practice. Now that we understand how small steps lead to big changes, let's talk about the thing that makes those steps powerful: practice. Many learners believe that practice means sitting at a desk for hours, memorizing long word lists or grammar rules. Yes, studying is important, but practice is not only about books. Practice is about using English in your daily life, in simple, fun, and natural ways. The more you practice, the more English becomes part of you. When I first started learning English, I thought practice was boring. I repeated words again and again, wrote long lists, and studied grammar, but I still felt tired and frustrated. Then I realized something important. Practice doesn't have to be boring. In fact, the best practice is often the one that feels like play. Listen to English every day. Think about how children learn their first language. They don't sit with grammar books. They learn by playing, singing, and listening to stories. You can do the same with English. One of the best ways to practice is listening. You don't need to understand everything. Just listen. You can listen to English songs, podcasts, or even short clips on YouTube. At first, the words might sound too fast, but that's okay. Your brain is learning the rhythm, the sound, and the music of English. Every time you listen, you're training your ears. I remember listening to English songs without understanding anything. But later, when I heard the same songs again, some words became clear. That's when I knew my brain was working, even when I felt lost. Listening every day, even for just a few minutes, is like feeding your brain with English. Speak English every day. Another way to practice is speaking. Many learners wait until they feel ready to speak. But if you wait, you may never feel ready. The best time to start speaking is now. You don't need a speaking partner. You can speak to yourself. I used to talk to myself in English all the time. I would say things like, I am hungry, or I want to eat rice. Or I would ask myself, how are you today? And then answer, I'm fine. At first, it felt funny, but slowly it became natural. Speaking out loud, even when you are alone, helps your mouth and brain work together. And when you finally talk to other people, it will feel easier. Reading and writing practice. Reading is another powerful way to practice. Start with easy books like children's stories because they use simple words and short sentences. You can also read simple news articles or social media posts. The key is to enjoy what you read. Here's a trick: read out loud. When you read out loud, you practice two skills at once, reading and speaking. It also helps you feel more comfortable with English sounds. I remember reading children's books and feeling proud because I could read a full page without stopping. That small victory made me want to keep going. Don't forget about writing either. Many learners avoid writing because they think it has to be perfect. But writing is just another form of practice. Start small. Write 2 or 3 sentences about your day. For example, today I went to the market. I bought apples. I felt happy. That's enough. Later, you can try writing longer pieces, like a journal. Writing helps you think in English because you are creating your own sentences, not just repeating what others say. Fun ways to practice. There are also fun ways to practice. Watching movies or TV shows in English can help you learn. Start by using subtitles in your own language. Then, when you feel ready, switch to English subtitles. Later, try watching without subtitles at all. This may sound difficult, but remember, it's not about understanding every word. It's about understanding the rhythm, tone, and expressions. I learned many natural phrases just by watching how actors spoke. Sometimes, I would repeat their lines like an actor, pretending I was in the scene. It felt fun, but it was also great practice. There are also many apps that can help you practice. Some apps let you talk to people around the world. Others give you small exercises with vocabulary and pronunciation. Even 5 minutes on an app every day can lead to big improvements. The best part is that you can practice anywhere, on the bus, while waiting in line, or during a break. Everyday practice. Here's the most important point I want you to remember. Practice doesn't have to feel like schoolwork. It can be part of your daily life. You can sing along with a song while cooking. You can describe what you see while walking on the street. For example, that is a car, the car is red. You can talk to yourself in the mirror while brushing your teeth. You can write a shopping list in English. These small activities are practice, and because they feel natural and fun, you won't get tired of them. Practice is the bridge between learning and using English. You can study grammar all day, but without practice, it remains in the book. When you practice, you bring English into your life. And the more you bring it into your life, the stronger it becomes. So remember to practice every day, even for a short time. Listen, speak, read, and write. Try different ways to practice and find what feels fun for you. The more you practice, the more English will become part of you, not just something you study, but something you live. Chapter 4: Turning Fear into Confidence. Fear is one of the strongest feelings many learners face when learning English. Many learners can read and write. Some can even listen and understand. But when it's time to speak, their voice disappears. Their heart starts to race, their hands sweat, and their mind goes blank. I know exactly how this feels because I experienced it myself. I remember the first time I tried to speak English with strangers. It was at a small cafe, and some tourists were sitting at the table next to me. I could hear them laughing and talking in English, and I thought, this is my chance. I can say something. But then another voice inside my head whispered, what if they don't understand me? What if I say something wrong? What if they laugh at me? That inner voice was my fear. And because of that fear, I stayed silent for almost 10 minutes. I pretended to be busy on my phone, but inside I was fighting myself. Finally, I decided to be brave. I took a deep breath, walked up to their table, and asked a simple question. Excuse me, is this seat free? My voice was shaking, and I probably mispronounced one of the words, but you know what? They smiled and said, yes, please. That was it, just one sentence, just one answer. But you know what? I felt like I had climbed a mountain. My fear seemed so big in my head, but when I actually spoke, nothing bad happened. They didn't laugh at me. They didn't get angry. They didn't even look confused. They understood me. And that small success gave me the confidence to try again next time. So, here's the first lesson I want to share with you. Fear always seems bigger than it actually is. In your mind, fear can feel like a giant shadow. But when you finally face it, you realize that shadow is created by something very small. Why do learners feel fear when speaking English? There are many reasons why learners feel afraid to speak English. One big reason is the fear of making mistakes. We think that making mistakes will make us look foolish. But the truth is, mistakes are proof that you are learning. A baby never feels embarrassed when it falls while learning to walk. A baby simply stands up again and tries once more. You should do the same when you make mistakes in English. They are not failures, they are the path to success. Another reason learners feel fear is comparing themselves to others. You might hear someone speak English fluently and think, I am not good enough. But remember, you're not competing with anyone else. Your journey is your own. Even learning one new word today is progress compared to yesterday. Confidence grows when you measure your progress against your own past, not against someone else's present. How can you turn fear into confidence? Let me give you some tools to help you turn fear into confidence. First, practice speaking in safe spaces. Talk to yourself in English at home. Describe what you are doing. For example, I am cooking rice. I am washing dishes. I am opening the window. No one is watching and no one is judging. You are free to make mistakes, and your confidence will grow little by little. Second, prepare simple sentences that you can use again and again. For example, how are you? Can you help me? I don't understand. These short expressions are like your safety net. When you go out into the world and meet someone, you already have these sentences ready in your mind. The more you use them, the more natural they will feel. Third, celebrate every small victory. Maybe today you spoke one word to a stranger. Maybe tomorrow you'll speak 2 sentences. Each time you try, you are building confidence, step by step. Confidence isn't a gift, it's something you create through action. Here's the spike moment I want you to remember. Fear gets smaller every time you try. The first time is the hardest. The second time is easier. The third time feels more natural. And then, one day, without even noticing it, you'll realize that speaking English no longer makes your heart race. You will feel calm and capable. You will even start to enjoy speaking. I want to share another story with you. A friend of mine, Maria, refused to speak English for years. She always said, I am too shy. People will laugh at me. One day, I encouraged her to join a free language exchange. She was terrified at first, but after just 10 minutes of conversation, she realized something powerful. Everyone in the room was making mistakes. No one laughed. No one judged her. Instead, they helped each other. That night, Maria went home smiling. She said, I never thought I could enjoy speaking English. Today, Maria speaks English confidently, not because she never makes mistakes, but because she learned that mistakes are not the enemy, they are the teacher. The most important thing, so, if you feel fear when speaking English, remember this: smile, breathe, and speak anyway. Your smile makes people feel comfortable. Your breath calms your nerves. And your voice, even if it shakes a little, will carry your message. The more you do it, the stronger your voice becomes. Don't wait for the day when you feel ready. That day may never come. Instead, take the first step today, even if it is small, even if it is imperfect. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes because of action. Turning fear into confidence is not about being perfect. It's about being brave. Each time you face your fear, you grow stronger. Each time you open your mouth, you open a new door in your life. English is not just a language. It's a bridge. And the first step to crossing that bridge is not waiting for fear to disappear, but walking forward, even while fear stands beside you. Chapter 5. Stay motivated on the journey. Motivation is like the fuel in your car. Without it, you can't go far, even if your car is strong and the road is clear. In learning English, the same thing happens. You can have the best books, the best teachers, and the best apps, but if you lose motivation, you stop moving forward. And when you stop, you can feel stuck, lost, or even think about giving up. That's why motivation is not just something nice to have. It is the heart of your learning journey. But here's the truth. No one can stay motivated every single day. We all have days when we feel tired. There are times when progress looks slow, when mistakes make us feel weak, and sometimes we just want to give up. So the question is not, how do I stay motivated all the time? The real question is, how do I find motivation again and again, even when I feel like stopping? When I first started learning English, I thought motivation was something that came from the outside. I thought I needed someone to push me all the time, a teacher to encourage me or friends to clap for me. But over time, I learned something important. Motivation is like a muscle. You must build it inside yourself. At first, the muscle is small and weak. But every time you choose to continue, every time you say, "I will practice for just 5 minutes today," your motivation muscle grows. Soon, you won't wait for other people to inspire you. You will inspire yourself. Think about it like exercising your body. If you go to the gym just once, nothing changes. Your muscles are still the same, but if you go regularly, little by little, you get stronger. Motivation works the same way. You don't need a huge burst of energy every day. You only need a small spark that keeps you going. And if you keep going, that small spark will turn into a bigger fire. How to stay motivated every day. I like to compare learning English to watering a plant. When you first plant a seed, you don't see anything happen. You water the soil, but it looks empty. Days pass and still nothing appears. Many people give up at this stage because they think, why should I keep watering if I don't see results? But if you stop, the seed will die and the plant will never grow. If you keep watering, one day a small green leaf will appear. That moment is like magic. And if you continue, the plant will grow taller and stronger, and one day it will give you flowers or fruit. Learning English is exactly the same. Your small daily practice is the water. You might not see results right away, but something is growing inside you. One day, you will notice it. Suddenly, you will understand a full sentence. Suddenly, you will speak without thinking. Suddenly, you will feel confident. That is the flower of your hard work. Set small goals. Another way to stay motivated is by setting small, clear goals. Many learners only have one big goal: I want to speak English fluently. But this goal is so big that it feels impossible. And when something feels impossible, your motivation can disappear. Instead, break your big goal into smaller, easier goals. For example, this week I will learn 10 new words. Or today I will practice speaking for 3 minutes. Or this month I will finish reading one easy English book. These small goals are like bricks. Every time you achieve one, you place another brick in your English house. Step by step, your house becomes bigger, and when you look back, you will realize that you have built something amazing. Celebrate your achievements. Celebrating achievements is also very important. Too many learners focus only on what they can't do yet. They say, "My English is still bad," or "I still make mistakes." But they forget to celebrate how far they've come. When you learned your first English word, that was an achievement. When you understood your first English song, that was a victory. When you had your first English conversation, even with mistakes, that was a success. Celebrate these moments because they show you that you are growing. Every time you celebrate, you send a message to your brain, "Keep going, this is working." Here's a story I want to share with you. There was a time when I felt very tired after studying English. I had worked hard, but I still made many mistakes. One night I thought, maybe this isn't for me, maybe I will never be good at English. But then I asked myself, what if I don't stop? What will happen in 1 year if I keep practicing a little bit every day? I closed my eyes and imagined myself speaking English in the future. 1 year later, I saw myself traveling, making new friends, and watching movies without subtitles. That picture in my mind gave me energy again. I said to myself, "Okay, I will not give up today." And 1 year later, I was living that dream. The power of your future self. Now I want you to imagine something powerful. Close your eyes and see yourself 1 year from today. Picture yourself walking into a room where people are speaking English. At first, you feel a little nervous, but then you open your mouth and the words come out more easily than before. You introduce yourself. You share your thoughts. You laugh with them. And in that moment, you realize, this is me. I can speak English. That future version of you is waiting. And the only way to meet that version of you is to keep going today. Motivation is not something far away. It is something you create. Every time you take one small step, every time you practice, you are telling yourself, "I believe in me." So don't wait for the perfect day. Don't wait for the perfect teacher. Don't wait for magic. The magic is already inside you. Keep watering your plant. Keep adding bricks to your house. Keep exercising your motivation muscle. One day, you will look back and realize that the journey itself has made you strong. Chapter 6. Never give up on English. When you reach this point in your journey, it's like looking back from the top of a hill. You can see the road you've traveled, the moments when you wanted to stop, the times you felt tired, and the times you doubted yourself. But most importantly, you see something even more powerful. You see that you kept going. And that's the message of this chapter. Never give up on English. Because if you don't quit, you can't lose. You might walk slowly, you might pause, you might even stumble. But as long as you keep moving, you will arrive. I want to start with something personal. I remember one night, many years ago, sitting at my desk with an English book open in front of me. I had studied the same page 3 times, but the words still seemed blurry. My brain was tired, and I thought, what if I'm not good enough for this? Maybe English isn't for me. It was a heavy feeling, like carrying a stone in my chest. I closed the book and almost decided to stop forever. But then another thought came to me. If I give up today, I will never know how far I could have gone. That small thought changed everything. Instead of quitting, I gave myself permission to go slowly. I told myself, I don't need to be perfect today. I just need to keep trying tomorrow. And this is the secret I want you to remember. the people who succeed in learning English are not the people who never make mistakes, or the people who are always confident, or the people who learn super fast. No, the people who succeed are simply the ones who don't give up. They fall, but they get up. They forget, but they try again. They feel shy, but they speak anyway. Every time you try again, you are winning. A simple way to look at your progress: think about learning English like a plant growing in the ground. Some days the sun shines and the plant grows quickly. Some days it rains too much and the plant bends. Some days the wind blows and shakes the plant. But as long as the plant stays rooted in the soil, as long as it doesn't give up, it will grow into a tree. You are that plant. Your roots are your hope. Your tree is your English voice. Now let's imagine something powerful together. Close your eyes for a moment and picture yourself 1 year from today. Imagine walking into a room where people are speaking English. At first, you might feel a little nervous, but then you open your mouth and the words come out more easily than before. You introduce yourself, you share your thoughts, you laugh with them, and in that moment you realize, this is me, I can speak English. That future version of you is waiting for you, cheering you on. But you can only meet that version of yourself if you don't give up today. Keep moving forward even when it feels hard. There will be times when it feels too hard. There will be days when you want to close your book, turn off your app, or avoid the conversation. That's normal. Everyone feels that way sometimes, even people who speak English as their first language. But here's something important to remember. You don't need to be strong every single day. You only need to come back. If you're tired today, rest. If you're discouraged tomorrow, breathe, but always come back. Because when you return, the journey continues. Let me tell you a quick story. The first time I recorded myself speaking English, I hated the result. My voice sounded strange, my pronunciation was off. I thought, this is terrible. I almost deleted the recording and promised myself I would never do it again, but instead I kept it. Weeks later, I recorded myself again. It was still not perfect, but I noticed that one word sounded better. Then, months later, I compared the two recordings and realized how far I had come. If I had quit after the first try, I would have missed that moment of victory. And trust me, those little victories are waiting for you too. The power of small wins. So here is the strongest truth I want to leave you with. Your English voice is already inside you. It is not something you need to borrow from others or something that only talented people can have. It's yours. Right now, it might be hidden under fear, doubt, and old mistakes, but it is there. Every small step you take, every practice, every word you dare to say, brings that voice closer to the surface. One day, it will shine so clearly that you will look back and say, I never knew I had this inside me. Remember, speed doesn't matter. Perfection doesn't matter. What matters is that you don't stop. One day, you will be the person others look at and think, wow, they speak English so well, I wish I could do that. And in that moment, you will smile because you will know the truth. You're not special. You're simply someone who never gave up. So today, I want you to make a promise to yourself, not to me, but to yourself. A promise that no matter how many mistakes you make, no matter how slow you feel, no matter how many times you fall, you will never quit on your English. Because your future self is waiting for you. Your English voice is waiting for you, and you're strong enough to keep going until you find it.
Hey, if you learned something new today, please give this video a like. Write your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second and it really helps to create more English videos for you. Thank you. See you next time. Bye.